Hey, man, they trying to do Lil Baby like Young Thug, man. They trying to take 4PF through there. They trying their best to get Lil Baby behind them bars, man. We got new information. It's always something new come out every day. Yeah.
All right, now, what was significant about that?
I knew that J Shot or John Smith was a close associate of the leader of 4PF, Dominique Lil Baby Jones.
Today we're diving deep into none other than the 4PF boss,
Yeah, they trying their best to get Lil Baby, man.
Shoot has allegedly sparked a full-blown gang war, leaving 2 innocent kids dead, and now has the Atlanta Police Department gunning for one of rap's biggest stars. This story got layers like an onion, and we're peeling back every single one.
Music said this story got layers like an onion.
So check it. Back in May 2024, Lil Baby was shooting a music video in Atlanta. Sounds regular, right? Just another day in the life of a multi-millionaire rapper. But according to the police, this wasn't just any hood. This was reportedly territory claimed by a rival gang called the Goodfellas, specifically their subset known as Only My Family, OMF. The Atlanta police are saying that by filming there, Baby was essentially taunting his ops, knowing damn well he was in enemy territory. As one commentator put it,
the optics of a multi-millionaire rolling through a neighborhood in his bulletproof truck and his thousand security guards going to an op neighborhood, filming a music video, antagonizing that community, rolling away in his Lamborghini and his 1,000 security guards, and then leaving that community to destruction.
I ain't gonna cap. You know how that other gang felt? You know how his ops felt when he did that? Do y'all understand how that man ops felt when he did that? They like, you gonna pull up. You already famous. You already a celebrity. You already got money. We already then beef. You already then made it past us 10,000, 100 times, 100,000, 200 million times. And now you gonna come in our hood and shoot a music video and then dip out in a Lamborghini with 1,000 security guards? You shitting on us. We got to get you. His ops was like, we got to do it. It ain't no way. We got to do it. We whatever come with this, we got to do it. We gotta let y'all know we mean business. They wasn't going for that. I'm gonna pull up in my hood, shoot a video, and you got all this clout shitting on us, and think we ain't finna attack. Man, they wasn't going.
Wrong with that optics.
Oh, it was in his op? It wasn't in his neighborhood?
But while filming was going down,
no, it wasn't in his neighborhood.
Shots were fired. 3 people got hit, but they all survived. Lil Baby himself wasn't injured, but this incident supposedly lit the fuse for what was about to come. According to the police narrative, this is what went down after that day. The video shoot getting shot up pissed off Lil Baby and his crew. In retaliation, police claimed that members of 4PF, 4 Pockets Full, which is Lil Baby's label and alleged gang, went and shot a man named Trevante Turner on June 29, 2024. Now here's where it gets even more tragic. After Trevante Turner got killed, members of the Goodfellas gang allegedly decided to get revenge. On July 2nd, 2024, just after midnight, they allegedly opened fire at Sparks Apartments on Spark Street, SW in Atlanta. 3 young boys were caught in the crossfire. 13-year-old Layman Freeman, who had literally just turned 13 that day, 13-year-old Jacody Davis, and an 11-year-old named Dontavius Davis, who was shot in the foot but survived. Tragically, both Layman and Jacody died from their injuries. Police later found evidence suggesting this attack was coordinated by an incarcerated OMF leader named Keontae Midnight Sanders from Hancock State Prison, who allegedly...
See, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, so... Of course, Lil Baby ain't gonna notify nobody that he's coming to Atlanta. Probably a certain few people, but sometimes when artists want to come back to their city and like do a music video or shoot a music video, you will not know. You will just see it. Like, you will just... Like, they just pop up. You know what I'm saying? Deep as hell. Like, they don't announce it. They don't put it on social media. They just pop up. So, he probably, Lil Baby was like, shit, let's go over to their hood and hurry up and shoot a video. Shoot a scene in they shit. You know what I'm saying? And don't nobody know this but Lil Baby and his crew. So, they go there. They shoot the scene. Now, people from in the community looking like, the fuck? Who is this looking, driving through this motherfucker like the president? You know what I'm saying? So they got they little scenes, they got their little footage, they got out of there hella deep. Lil Baby and them hopped in the Lamb, took his security guards with them, got out of there hella deep. Next thing you know, that's when the hood find out, like, man, why Lil Baby just pulled up out of nowhere and shot a music video in the trenches in the hood? You feel what I'm saying? So that's probably why they didn't come that same time. I think it was the same day, but not the same time, because they didn't know that he was in their hood. And when nobody probably in the hood at the time, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So when they got the drop that he pulled up to the hood to shoot a music video, that's when they probably was like, oh yeah, we finna let's call woo woo. And then the nigga that's in jail, that's like got a name from the Goodfella hood that Lil Baby into it with, he sent the hit. So they pull up late that night. Now I'm thinking like, shit, if they would have noticed that Lil Baby was in that hood at that time, they probably would have pulled up during the video shoot. You feel me? But I think they said that Lil Baby got. I don't know. Let's listen more.
Allegedly used contraband cell phones and social media to orchestrate the hit. Fast forward to February 26, 2025. The Atlanta police held a press conference announcing the arrest of 7 suspects: Keontae Sanders, Richard Hollis, Reginald Thomas, Keithian Mobley,
so
Marcus
that's the
Crawford,
other gang,
Trayden
Goodfellow,
Crawford, and Ali Caldwell. During this press conference, Homicide Commander Major Ralph Woolfolk dropped a bomb without naming names.
Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence that was orchestrated by adults in our city, and cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are.
See, y'all know where Lil Baby messed up at though. Lil Baby messed up at the point where you can go anywhere in the city and shoot a music video. Anywhere in the city. But you decided to go to your gang rivals territory and shoot the music video. Lil Baby can say, man, I can shoot the video anywhere I want in the city. They gonna say, but you knew you wasn't supposed to be on that side in that hood. Now that's what's gonna get them. Cause you knew it. You knew you weren't supposed. You knew you beefing with these folks. You knew it was gonna start something. You knew it was gonna cause an altercation. You knew this probably eventually was gonna happen. So they're gonna be like, you knew you shouldn't have been over there in the first place. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you thought you could shoot wherever you wanted to shoot at, you knew you shouldn't have shot here. Straight up.
And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
The police officer didn't name Lil Baby directly, but Channel 2 Action News in Atlanta obtained arrest warrants that confirmed they were talking about Dominique Jones, aka Lil Baby. The warrant allegedly named him as the gang leader of 4PF. This is where things get extra spicy, because during the court proceedings for the Goodfellas gang members, an Atlanta gang investigator named Marissa Viverito took the stand and presented some damning evidence. She testified that in a wiretap conversation, someone mentioned that Lil Baby had tickets on people's heads, basically meaning he had bounties out for certain individuals.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unc, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unc.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders.
Correct.
What, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean on somebody's head? What is that?
Like a bounty.
To have them arrested?
Harmed. Or killed.
And who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones had wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
Now, hold up. There's more to this story than just what the police are saying. Lil Baby and his legal team have strongly denied any involvement in these crimes. His attorneys, Drew Finling and Marissa Goldberg, released statements calling the
anybody could have said that though.
Complete and total
if it ain't come out his mouth, anybody could have said that.
For a major music video shoot isn't decided by one person, but by a professional team, and that it was disgraceful to suggest Baby couldn't shoot a video in his hometown, a place he loves and has continued to uplift. Lil Baby himself addressed the situation on Instagram, posting, "Thanks for all the concerns. Please don't be misinformed by fake news. I'm overly good." The story gets even more layered when we consider Lil Baby's past. Before his music career took off, he did time in prison around 2014 to 2016 for drug and weapon charges. He started his music career after getting out, dropping his debut mixtape Perfect Timing in 2017. Since then, he's blown up to become one of the biggest rappers in the game, but has had a few other legal issues along the way. In February 2019, he was arrested in Atlanta for reckless driving, eluding police, and failure failure to signal. In July 2021, during Paris Fashion Week, he was detained in France for allegedly possessing cannabis, but was released after paying a fine. And more recently, in August 2024, he was arrested in Las Vegas for carrying a concealed weapon without a permit, though his attorneys noted he had a valid Georgia permit that Nevada doesn't recognize. But this latest situation is on a whole different level. We're not just talking about some minor charges here. The police are trying to connect him to a chain of events that led to the deaths of 2 children. That's serious business. One thing that stands out to me is what this dude said about the situation.
I'm not gonna lie, this is absurdity to heights I've never seen before. They're doing all of this, claiming that a gang war was started because Lil Baby filmed a music video in the ops territory. Now, I'll be real. Do I believe that Lil Baby should have been more responsible?
Hell
because,
yeah.
like the optics of
man, you know what come with that.
Millionaire coming to these people's neighborhood in your multi-million-dollar bulletproof trucks, bringing a lot of chaos there, and then leaving to go to your mansion. The optics is hard.
Crazy work.
But to paint it
Crazy
as
work.
started a gang war, and he has to be held responsible for it. It's kind of like, bro, like, come on, bro.
So that's how this whole situation
He started a war,
with
then
music video
dipped.
shoot that allegedly sparked a series of events
Like
leading to
what?
tragedy. But what makes this story extra wild is that the police aren't just trying to pin these deaths directly on Lil Baby. They're building what looks like a Rico case against him and his entire 4PF organization. And that's where things get really complicated. Rico case building against 4PF. For those who don't know what RICO is, it stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. It's a federal law originally designed to take down mob bosses, but nowadays it's used to go after gangs, including those with alleged ties to the rap game. We've seen it happen with Young Thug and YSL, and some commentators are drawing parallels to that case.
They done took an L in there with Thug, and now they taking Lil Baby, who's been very positive. Last I saw, he just bought a strip mall in there, regutting it, create new jobs for the community. I don't hear Lil Baby caught up in anything negative. He's been doing his music. He had a #1 album.
But here's where it gets intense. During the court proceedings for the Goodfellas members, Detective Marissa Viverito, who's being described as an Atlanta gang investigator, has been presenting evidence that allegedly links Lil Baby to gang activities. And some of this evidence is pretty damning if true. First off, she testified about an Instagram page belonging to Keontae Sanders, aka Midnight, that contained direct messages, including a disappearing message between Sanders and someone named Mr. Smith. When asked about the significance of this, Viverito stated,
I knew that John Smith was a close associate of the leader of 4PF, Dominique Lil Baby Jones.
This is significant because they're trying to establish connections between Lil Baby and others involved in alleged gang activities. But the real bombshell came when Viverito presented wiretap evidence that allegedly shows someone discussing how Lil Baby had placed bounties on people's heads. In the wiretap, an unidentified man referred to as Unk was speaking with Sanders, Midnight, about tickets people had on their heads. When asked to clarify what tickets meant, Viverito explained it was a price on somebody's head, like a bounty, for someone to be harmed or killed. And when asked who they were referring to in the call, Viverito stated they were saying Dominique Jones, Lil Baby, had tickets on a lot of people's heads. Now obviously this is serious business if true, but there are reasons to be skeptical about some of these claims. For one, Marissa Viverito's credibility has been called into question due to her involvement in the YSL case against Young Thug, where she faced criticism for her testimony.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
To me, this is nonsense.
She trying to put everybody away.
Ops being paranoid because they are out here harming people who are close to me, being paranoid that me, the bagman, me, the rich rapper, may have some money on their heads because they're doing foul things. That's y'all proof that I'm involved in this gang war? That's y'all proof that I should be brought in for a Rico? I think it's insane, bruh, right? Now, listen, bruh. At this point, bro, we gotta stop using like Burrito the Vixen as a gang expert or as anybody credible, bruh. Like, have y'all forgotten like the YSL trial where even the judge got frustrated at Burrito because Burrito was on that stand, bruh, spewing nonsense, dodging questions, being uncredible?
There's also the question of whether the police are trying to build a case based on flimsy connections rather than solid evidence. As one commentator put it,
there was wiretaps being played, and on one of the wiretaps,
and what they say?
Mentioned that.
What they say? Investigator Viverito is on the stand. We are listening to Wire. Damn, man. Moolah, big ass head in the way. Someone mentioned that Lil Baby had tickets on. I can't see because Moolah, big ass head is in the way.
Lil Baby had tickets, aka a bag, a bounty on some people's heads. If they know what the ops did to you, they know
what you did to the ops.
That's the code of the streets, people. So don't ever celebrate your ops getting a Rico. That just means
for real, they coming for you now.
Now, if we look at the receipts for Trevante Turner, the police report when he passed away, if you look at the literal police report, they listed 4PF as a criminal street gang which laid claims to the Oakland City neighborhood of Atlanta.
What's especially concerning for Lil Baby fans is that there are reports suggesting a RICO indictment could be coming soon. According to one source, Sean Hoover, who manages the Georgia Public Defenders Council specialized unit in gang cases, has said that the office is actively preparing for a racketeering indictment on the 4PF and OMF cases, and that he expects Lil Baby to be indicted with others. Another disturbing development in this case involves Keontae Davis, who had previously identified another 4PF member, 4PF Nathan Benford, as the shooter in a separate murder case. Davis's testimony led to 4PF Nate getting sentenced to 40 years in prison, while Davis himself got probation. But in a shocking twist, Keontae Davis was murdered on April 1st, 2025, less than a mile away from the original crime scene, according to reports from the Fulton Medical Examiner. Some are speculating about the timing of Davis's death, coming right as authorities seem to be building a case against 4PF.
The man that was taken to the hospital and succumbed to his injuries, that man was identified by the Fulton Medical Examiner as 27-year-old Keontae.
He snitched on the dude that got 40.
This is power.
But let's be real here. We don't know if there's any connection between
He snitched
these
on the
events,
dude got 40 years, they got rid of him.
Assume so without evidence. What we do know is that the police have been building a case that seems to treat 4PF as a criminal organization, not just a record label. In fact, there are reports that Lil Baby has actually moved away from using the 4PF name.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Entertainment under Motown.
I was just gonna say that.
Possibly to distance himself from these.
I was just gonna say that. When Young Thug and everybody was going down, Lil Baby then was like, hey, we finna change this name. That's when they came out with Can't Be Fucked With Records and all that. Lil Baby was like, oh, no. Because nowadays, record labels are gang, basically, gangs. Yeah, record labels are gangs. They turned their gang into a record label. Record label was, 4PF was a street gang before it was a record label. Nowadays, all these rappers that be in gangs turn their gangs into record labels. You know what I'm saying? When they shouldn't even do that. You be having Chopper Gang, 4PF Gang, and it's a record label, but it's an actual gang because it was a gang before it was a record label. So that's how artists sometimes, these big artists that got their own labels, that's how they really mess everything up. You know what I'm saying? By using their record label, their gang name as their record label name. You feel me? That's how they be messing stuff up.
Gang allegations.
Putting themselves in fucked up situations.
The whole 4PF thing,
all of that. So, but
the label name has changed.
Yes.
Another factor complicating this case is the way the Atlanta Police Department seems to be handling it publicly. During their press conference in February, they didn't name Lil Baby directly, but made it clear they were referring to a rapper they held responsible for the chain of events. This unusual approach has drawn criticism.
Lil Baby was someplace he knew he wasn't supposed to be. I've never heard law enforcement say that a person is somewhere they're not supposed to be.
And
it's almost like a correctional officer.
He wasn't supposed to be there, bro.
Like, you're used to the idea of CEOs kind of putting different people from different gangs in different sections of the prison to avoid problems, but this is like they're supposing that Lil Baby should just be respecting the gang lines of the city.
Bro, bro. He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. That is your ops. That is their territory. That's their neighborhood. You know, as you being a famous artist, you know if you go over there, you going to start something, bro. He knew that he didn't care. He didn't care just like everybody else. We don't care. Fuck the ops. Basically what he was saying. He knew for a fact he wasn't supposed to be over there, because if he didn't know, he would have went by his damn self. No security, no bulletproof car, none of that. If he knew he can go over there. Come on, bro. He ain't give a fuck. It's fuck the ops, basically.
something you typically hear
that's
police
the
trying to
case-
enforce.
Some critics are questioning whether the police are trying to scapegoat Lil Baby for broader gang violence issues in Atlanta.
I don't know. They playing games. Interesting point. And it's
Let's play
but this is but before we play the clip,
Yeah, first clip, Josh.
to me, like the fact that this isn't transparent to everybody already is insane, because every single time there's an influx of crime, there's a back and forth, and they're able to tie it to a major artist, they're going to do so for publicity purposes, for budgeting purposes. It's a move that the mayor's office and the DA's office does consistently, particularly in places like Cobb County and around there in ATL. So I'm not at all surprised that this is going on. They're just trying to use Baby and vilify him regardless. But the other side of that coin is
Pause. Use him what and vilify him.
One of the most troubling aspects of this case is how it seems to be heading toward a Rico indictment. In a Rico case, prosecutors don't need to prove that someone directly committed crimes themselves. They just need to show that the person was part of an organization that committed crimes as part of a pattern.
Keontae Davis already identified 4PF Nate. It should have stopped there. But it didn't. Right? Because you know what the prosecutors did? They tacked on gang charges on top of the murder. And they did that specifically to tie this or PF. It's a pattern here. Whenever a shooting or act of violence happens, it's not enough to just charge the person with the crime individually. No, they tack on gang charges.
Gang enhancements.
So it can be on record that this murder was done under 4PF's behalf to further the gang.
This pattern of adding gang enhancements to charges could be setting the stage for a broader Rico case against.
They just want to know if he had involvement.
And if that happens,
but they know that though.
Changer for one of rap's biggest stars. What's especially wild is that some of the evidence being presented doesn't even necessarily suggest that Lil Baby ordered any crimes. For example, in the arrest warrants for the Goodfellas members who allegedly killed the two 13-year-olds, there was no indication that Lil Baby ordered any crimes, focusing instead on his alleged role in escalating tensions. And in another bizarre twist, there's even evidence that Lil Baby might have been a target himself. According to reports, Keontae Sanders, the alleged OMF leader, had planned to extort Lil Baby for $5 million upon his release from prison. This suggests that rather than being solely a perpetrator in this conflict, Lil Baby might have also been viewed as a potential victim. The fallout. What's next for Lil Baby?
That must be his biggest
Lil Baby does indeed get hit with a Rico indictment. It could be devastating for his career. We've seen what happened with Young Thug, who spent over a year in jail while fighting his Rico case.
That probably was a little more than over a year.
The charges, just being locked up for an extended period, could derail his momentum in the rap game. As one commentator put it,
if you are a Lil Baby fan, it's gonna be a hard couple of months for you, bruh. Because this Lil Baby situation feels like the Atlanta police. They're just committed to trying to get Lil Baby locked up.
They want him. They want him.
They feel like they can't win the case. Getting him off the streets for a year or two as he fight this Rico is their goal.
Yep.
Shout out my guy.
As long as they do something.
Man. He's Kodak Black's lawyer, Drake's lawyer. He actually gave a take on his Lil Baby situation that I believe it's pretty much what's gonna happen. So he says they're trying to say that Lil Baby is going to get indicted. We all know how that goes in Atlanta. Those prosecutors can't get out of their own way. Another clown show if that happens.
What's particularly concerning is how some legal experts are already talking about this case as if an indictment is a foregone conclusion. According to reports, the Georgia Public Defender's Office is already preparing staff to represent defendants in the expected 4PF Rico case. That suggests they're pretty confident charges are coming soon.
Gonna hold you and your associates accountable because Lil Baby filmed a music video in the hood of a rival and the music video got shot up. So Baby and them responded back by shooting and killing one of the rivals. Then the rivals responded back by shooting and killing two 13-year-olds. Atlanta PD is blaming
that's how they went.
Claiming that Lil Baby is responsible because he filmed a music video in Goodfellas territory. And then we sit back and we watch them arrest.
So that's how that went. Lil Baby came to their hood, shot the video. They didn't like that, so they shot up the video. 4PF, Lil Baby and them got upset at that, went to go shoot somebody in the other gang shit, and they killed somebody. And then they came back later and shot up the apartments and killed them boys. Crazy work, boy.
And then Lil Baby name is being mentioned throughout the entire grand jury. It's like, bro, is this about Goodfellas or about Lil Baby? It don't make sense.
Now, a lot of fans on social media are calling this a witch hunt. When the news first broke about Lil Baby being linked to these shootings, many fans came to his defense, questioning how he could be held responsible for others' actions. One ex-user commented, "So since y'all can't control y'all city, it's Lil Baby's fault," while another asked, "Arrest him for what? Why aren't they finding the shooter?" The sentiment among many fans seems to be that police are scapegoating Lil Baby rather than focusing on the actual perpetrators. Some fans even suggested that Lil Baby could sue for defamation, with one commenting, "He wasn't even there. Defamation lawsuit coming." Of course, not all reactions have been supportive. A minority of commenters do think Lil Baby should be held accountable, with one saying, "Lock him up, please. He's a person than a musician." But overall, there seems to be a lot of skepticism about the police narrative. What's particularly interesting is how many fans are focused on the legal ramifications of these allegations, showing a deeper engagement with the legal process beyond just defending their favorite artist. Even in the media and among commentators, there are very different takes on this situation. Some are critical of the police approach, questioning why they would publicly implicate Lil Baby without charging him.
Well, saying that shooting a music video is not against the law. Shooting a music video wherever you want is not against the law. But I see it just seems odd to make those allegations, like Charlamagne said, without charging somebody. Like it's almost like they're spitting gossip. Like charge somebody. Don't say somebody's cowardly. Don't say none of that stuff. You charge them, and then you can have those claims. In my opinion.
And I ain't gonna lie, I still don't know what's going on.
Others point out that there seems to be a pattern of law enforcement targeting successful rappers, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah, cool. It's definitely wild. So I need the deep dive. I need like some of these YouTube detectives to let us know what exactly is going on with this gang war. Because if
he never went over to the hood to shoot the video, this shit would never happen.
I would need a lot better evidence of such. But as is, I just don't think the cops should be like mandating that gang members stay out of each other's neighborhoods, even for professional purposes.
Young Thug situation, whatever was going on like that, whatever fire was burning, they put a lot of that out, bro. Ain't nobody stupid, ain't nobody crazy.
One of the most concerning aspects of this whole situation is how it could be part of a broader trend of using RICO laws against rappers. We've seen it with Young Thug and YSL, and now potentially with Lil Baby and 4PF. Some see this as a targeted effort to take down successful black artists. But regardless of whether this case is legitimate or not, it raises serious questions about the relationship between hip-hop, gang culture, and the criminal justice system. While Lil Baby has achieved enormous success as a rapper, buying property in Atlanta and creating jobs for the community, there are these persistent allegations about his ties to gang activity. This case also highlights the challenges faced by artists who come from difficult backgrounds. Lil Baby served time in prison before his music career took off, and has been open about his past involvement in drug dealing. But many fans believe he's turned his life around, focusing on his music and business ventures rather than street life. Lil Baby's attorneys have emphasized his commitment to community upliftment and philanthropy, noting that the victims in this case came from his neighborhood and that he's devastated by the situation. They argue that it's unfair to blame him for a tragedy that he had no direct role in causing. On the other hand, if the allegations about him placing bounties on people's heads are true,
that's what they really at there though. They want to know if he really placed bounties on people's heads.
These are just allegations based on wiretap conversations where people were discussing what they had heard about Lil Baby.
What they heard.
Evidence of his actions.
What they
As
heard.
Of now, Lil Baby has not been charged.
Not what he said.
Related to
they heard what he said. But did he really say it? This is what y'all heard.
The two 13-year-olds.
This is some he say, she say shit.
Indictment hangs over Lil Baby's head. What's particularly fascinating about this case is how it reflects broader issues in our society. There's the question of whether successful rappers have a responsibility to completely cut ties with their former neighborhoods and associates, even if that means being called fake or accused of going Hollywood.
That happened in St. Louis.
Well, let's just wait till next year to start. You know what I mean, though?
Crimes related to these shootings. The focus remains on the arrested Goodfellas members who are facing charges for the murder of the two 13-year-olds. But the looming threat of a RICO indictment hangs over Lil Baby's head. What's particularly fascinating about this case is how it reflects broader issues in our society. There's the question of whether successful rappers have a responsibility to completely cut ties with their former neighborhoods and associates, even if that means being called.
That happened in St. Louis right there. That happened in St. Louis. He was late to a video shoot in St. Louis, and the St. Louis nigga got mad because he was late. Lil Baby gave him his money back, fucked up his opportunity. He there to shoot the video. The fuck if you late? I need my video. Bro.
Fake or accused of going Hollywood.
Well, let's just wait till next year to start. You know what I mean, though? But it don't register in their head like that, folks. They think this what they have to do. They think that if they don't do this, they lames. If they don't do this, they not real streets. If they don't do this, they won't be accepted in the hood. If they don't do this, they can never claim 4PF or whatever else again. And then they go to jail and they think going to jail is like a badge of honor because they get out from going to jail and they wear it like it's a goddamn, you feel me? Like they did something for real.
Bro.
They wear that jacket, that jail jacket, like, yeah, I've been to prison. I'm a real street.
Like it's a trophy or something.
I've been to prison. I level 5 camp, nigga. I was on prison. Hey, you talking about?
They like that clout. They love that clout.
Literally, bro. Go get some money somewhere.
brother.
There's also the debate about whether the police are enforcing gang boundaries rather than focusing on reducing violence. And there's the broader issue of how the entertainment industry often glorifies street life while real people suffer the consequences. One commentator raised an important point about the responsibility of successful artists to separate themselves from potential legal troubles.
Baby is Lil Baby is involved for the snitch losing his life is over with. Like Flacco said, it's donezo. I'm talking about singing. You know what I mean? This is bad, bro. This is not good. In the next 90 days, if I was him, I'd take my ass to Africa somewhere. Do your homework on Africa. You're gonna have to come find me, cool. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can keep rapping in Africa. Do your homework on that. Russia. I'll be in China somewhere with non-extradition.
Tokyo.
A simple Google search away. I get up under
Taiwan.
the jet like this right here. You packed in like one of the Mexicans, boy. I'm telling you. I be packed in with all a bunch of cash, whole lot of money, some check, some Louis Vuittons.
Like Lil Durk tried to do.
Take me out of here.
They caught Durk at the airport though.
Lil Baby, I hope what they saying is not true. And my hope is that Lil Baby just ain't had nothing to do with nothing
at all.
That's my hope. My hope is he just prove that he ain't had nothing to do with nothing and he ain't been on nothing. But the mistake that these rappers make is they blow up, they make it.
Yeah.
Already you pissing people off. You a rich black successful man from the hood.
I was just saying something about that in the beginning of the video.
They find out that you giving money out in the hood. They find out that you still hanging in the hood.
Flash.
They find out that you still around all these people that you was around in the hood.
The situation is even more complicated.
They hate that. They jealous of that.
Lil Baby has reportedly been moving away from the 4PF branding, possibly in response to these legal threats. If he was trying to distance himself from gang associations, that could be seen as evidence that he recognized the risks and was taking steps to change his image. But prosecutors might also try to spin that as consciousness of guilt. It's also worth noting that this case isn't happening in isolation. There's a broader context of law enforcement targeting rappers, especially in Atlanta. After the arrest in the YSL case, some critics argued that prosecutors were using song lyrics and music videos as evidence of gang activity, blurring the lines between artistic expression and criminal behavior.
I just feel like they attacking everybody in hip hop as if.
Because everybody in hip hop telling on themselves on record, on a song,
right?
They all telling on themselves.
And this situation is sad. It's almost like it would make a dude from Atlanta not even want to live there, because if you go somewhere to try to do something positive, and one of the little idiots.
So what's next for Lil Baby? If the rumors about an impending Rico indictment are true, we could see him facing serious charges within the next few months. That would likely mean bail hearings, potential pretrial detention, and a legal battle that could stretch on for years. On the other hand, it's possible that these allegations will amount to nothing more than talk. Maybe prosecutors don't have enough evidence to bring a case, or maybe Lil Baby truly isn't involved in the criminal activities he's being accused of. What we do know is that this situation has highlighted the complex relationship between hip-hop, gang culture, and the criminal justice system. It's raised important questions about responsibility, accountability, and the price of success in an industry that often glorifies street credibility.
It comes to a point where you gotta stop trying to keep it real and keep it real with yourself. You gotta keep it real with yourself. And keeping it real with yourself is, you're bigger than the hood now, bro. You know what I mean? You are bigger than the hood. You're bigger than Atlanta. You are a global superstar. You can't go in. Lil Baby can't even go to Paris. He can't even go to London. He can't even go to Africa. He can't go to Australia.
You know you
walk
somebody.
around like a regular person. And
you know you somebody can't do nothing.
He can't go to these other countries. He cannot. He can't. He's a global, international superstar. You can't keep associating yourself with the hood. You keep talking about how you Crips all these songs because you trying to keep it real for the people that's in jail or in the streets. No. One of the best things I did was and I did this before I got money because I knew what I had to do, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, bro. Because if I was still associated with the people that I was kicking it with before when I was in high school, and most of them have passed away, you know what I'm saying? But if I was still in that neighborhood, hanging around all the killers, all the dealers, all the drillers, all the robbers, you know what I'm saying? And I was still connected to them to the point where I'm still kicking it with y'all, pulling back up to the hood, trying to keep it real. Coming back to Chicago, doing all that, they might have me on the first YouTuber with a Rico. You feel?
For fans of Lil Baby,
put you in a fucked up ass situation and you ain't doing nothing but just giving back. You just don't want to lead the people who you grew up with. Because you successful don't mean you want to lead the people you grew up with. You can't take everybody, but
as the story continues to unfold, we'll be keeping a close eye on developments. Will Lil Baby face Rico charges? Will investigators produce more evidence linking him to criminal activities? Or will these allegations ultimately fizzle out? One thing's for sure, this case has reminded us of the high stakes in the rap game, where success can make you a target for both rivals and law enforcement. And it's raised important questions about whether artists have a responsibility to completely cut ties with their past once they achieve fame and fortune.
But way before I even sniffed some money, I disassociated myself with all of that. And this ain't like it, bro. For a long time, Mako changed and he on some weirdos, he on some spirituals. They said a lot. You feel me? Behind closed doors, they said it to me through text, whatever. But fast forward, I'm finna be 27 this year. Fast forward about 6, 7 years, I'm rich and I'm disassociated with anything that got to do with the streets. I don't have to worry about the police at all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got the police is cool with, I'm cool with the popo. I get pulled over, I'll drop my windows. Hey, how you doing, officer? Yeah, I'm sorry for speeding. Here you go, my license. Hey man, just slow it down, bro. Nice car, by the way. You feel me? I get pulled over by the police, they be like, hey, my son watch your videos, keep talking, keep clowning them street fools, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep clowning them, man. I'm gonna let you off with a warning, bro. And let me get a picture. That really happened in real life, you know what I'm saying, though? So it's like, I feel like rappers be trying to keep it too real, and they don't want they old friends and they old hood to be like, oh, he went Hollywood, he fake. You need to go Hollywood. If they want to call you fake, let them call you fake. You outgrew these circumstances. You don't need to stay around, bro. It's okay. It's cool. Start making some songs about
you just become too big. You just become too big for the people that you used to be around.
Or if you gonna tell something about the streets, tell stories about the streets. Don't be getting on here as Lil Baby and you talking about some I'm Crip and I'm 60 and I'm Crip and woody whoop and they snitched and shout out to the guys, free the guys and all this, and I'm pulling up to the hood every day and I'm giving money out and shooting videos in the hood doing all this, because even if you have nothing to do with nothing, you associate, you guilty by association, folks. You feel me? And the police look at it the same way. So hopefully that don't get locked up. But man, it ain't looking good for. I'm sorry.
What do you?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Lil Baby a smart individual. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Lil Baby a smart man. You know what I'm saying? He didn't reach levels that, you know, really no one that around him has reached, you know what I'm saying? And he became successful, a global superstar. So I think Lil Baby is smart, but you also have people that's around you, and he from the hood, you know what I'm saying? So you could take the hood, you could take a nigga out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the nigga. But I think Lil Baby understands that he's a successful global superstar and he has nothing to prove. But you also have people still in your ear, in both of your ears, you know what I'm saying, that you grew up with, that you was in the hood with, that you know what I'm saying, came up with, that was probably in your ear telling you that, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, let's step on these niggas' necks. And he don't even have to do that. It's the people around him influencing him to do it. Instead of him influencing them to get money, they influencing him to do more violent gang shit because he got money. And he not even at that level no more. He way past that. But then again, like I said, Lil Baby's a street nigga. So he still got that street mentality. And he probably feel like that's something that he have to do. You know what I'm saying? He probably feel like that's something that he got to do. You know, he don't want to look like a peon. He don't want to look soft. Niggas don't be wanting to look soft. Niggas don't be wanting to look like they ain't about it no more. Niggas don't want to lose respect. You know what I'm saying? So they do certain shit. But deep down, I think Lil Baby is a smart man. You know what I'm saying? And this is why it's taking them so long to gather information on him, because how he probably was moving a little smart. But it don't matter how smart you move. they gon' collect something. They gon' find something on you. You know what I'm saying? Right now they trying to really see if this man's got bounties on people's heads. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I think Lil Baby is a smart man. He just got people around him that's still in the streets that's, you know what I'm saying, in his ear telling him probably to do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? Which he is own man. He running shit. But you know how that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Once you the head honcho, people that's still under you look for you to still call shots, even if you don't want to do it no more. And you don't want to look like this person that don't want to do it because you're going to feel like you're going to lose respect. You're going to woo, this and that. And woo. I don't know. There's a lot of street shit involved, man. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Yeah, I think Lil Baby a smart man, though. But anyway, man, hey, let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Is Lil Baby gonna get indicted? If they gonna get enough information, bro, to indict Lil Baby, man. You know what I'm saying? Did he really put bounties on people's heads, man? You know what I'm saying? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all think? Let me know. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Hit that notification bell so y'all can know when I'm posting. Also, share this video too, man. But let me know, man. Comment down at the bottom, man. Y'all know what's going on. It's your boy Montana, man. I'm out.